I just think it's incredibly important that we all continue to build our belief in our products and our opportunity and our company, because it's that belief that actually establishes a vision which results in the motivation to go build it. If there's any doubt about our opportunity, that just creeps in and it affects our actions. So I just keep coming up with these rants about why Young Living, because there's lots of options, right? Lots of opportunities. Why you? Because we have doubts about that. Like, is it time for me? Can I do this? And then, of course, there's always why now, because it's easier to wait to next month or next year. First, a little bit of context, because most of you probably don't know me. And I think an opinion, which is this rant is just an opinion, is really kind of the value of it might be based on the context of who's offering the opinion. So I have some background in direct selling and network marketing that is relevant and might help you understand where this opinion comes from. So first and foremost, I've been a full-time network marketer 47 years, going on 48 in the month of May 2025. And there's hardly anybody, maybe a half a dozen people in our whole profession that have been doing network marketing as long as I have and are still doing it and still love it and still promote it and teach it and coach it. And part of that is because I found a way to do it that doesn't burn me out and doesn't burn my friends and my network out and keeps me passionate about it. But in 47 years, you see a lot of things, right? You see a lot of companies, you see a lot of opportunities, and it gives you perspective that other people that have been doing it a lesser amount of time perhaps don't have. So as some of you know, I used to work in a chicken plant and I had my whole life mapped out, and I actually loved working at the chicken plant, and I thought I was going to work there another 40 years. And when I was prospected to look at network marketing, I said, absolutely not. No, I was emphatic. I was even a little nasty about it. Like, don't even bring it up again. I'm not interested in selling. I'm not interested in business of any kind. I just want to build my career in the chicken plant. I had it kind of mapped out, based on the color hat that you get, which gives you more authority and maybe a little bit of a raise. And so I had the next 40 years in the chicken plant all mapped out. And like a lot of prospects, I said no, and I meant it. I did mean it. But then something happened. The policy at the chicken plant changed. Just the whole plant, 3,000 people changed, and you had to have a 4-year college degree to advance any further than I already was at the chicken plant. So all of a sudden, my career path ripped right out from underneath me. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to go join that network marketing company. No, I didn't think that way. But the next time I happened to bump into my sponsor, which was a few weeks later, because he was a very good friend, he, of course, said, I'm still doing this. So I looked, right? I looked. Why? Because life changed, circumstances change, and it changes for everybody. It may not change in the next 2 or 3 weeks after they say no, but 2 or 3 months, 2 or 3 years, changes for everybody. So that's why we always say no doesn't mean no, it means perhaps not now. And so I joined. It took me a few weeks to kind of, get over all my stigma, get over myself and decide, I've never met a group of people that were more fired up about helping me achieve my goals. I never even met a group of people that asked me, what do you want? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to live? What do you want to have? How much money do you want to make in your life? What kind of car do you want to drive? Nobody ever asked me that. So I was infatuated with the culture and the people of the personal development aspect, the championing aspect. I just fell in love with that culture, and I loved the product. It worked for me. So I went at it, but I wasn't very good at it. Wasn't good at all at asking people to buy something or asking people to join an opportunity to make money. I just had a really bad mindset about all of it. And it took a couple of years of study and immersing myself in it and working on my belief system before I actually shifted and changed. But when I shifted and changed my attitude, I started building. And in 4 years, I built a team of 30,000 active people. In 1980, I was making $40,000 a month. That's not a claim for Young Living. That's just my story 45 years ago. And, that's like the equivalent of about $250 a month today, right? So I killed it. Like I knocked it out of the park. And I was doing so well, that company drafted me from the field and asked me to come and actually run the company. So I ran that company for 3 years. And then things just kind of changed and I didn't really like the direction the ownership was going. So I kind of retired. I had a great residual income. And I bought into this little tiny network marketing company that was struggling. And over the next 35 years, I ran it and I bought it. And, I don't know, it's 40 years later now or some close to 40 years later now. And I still own that company. And it was an award-winning company, won direct selling awards. About halfway through that build, Success Magazine featured me on the cover of Success Magazine. I was on the board of directors of the Direct Selling Association, one of the longest running members of the ethics committee of the Direct Selling Association. And about 10 years ago or so, I sold that company, the genealogy, the network marketing aspect of that company, and another network marketing company that I started. I had two at one time for about 10 years. I sold them both to join Young Living. Now, why did I do that? Well, I'd always been a coach. Coaching was my secret sauce, like the strategy for, everybody can learn how to recruit. Everybody can learn how to, enroll people. Everybody can learn how to, walk people through the comp plan and the products and all that kind of stuff. But what actually allowed me to do really, really well was understanding that the difference was people's mindset and how you change people's mindset to get motivated to actually do this and stay motivated to do it was coaching. And I wrote this book called The 4-Year Career because that's the model I used to build my organization. And about 15 years ago, a Young Living came to visit me and he wanted to learn how to build along the lines of the 4-year career. And I was owning and building my companies, but I was also coaching on the side. And so I started coaching him. And I started coaching him primarily because he was buying lots of these books, The 4-Year Career. Anyway, long story short, over the next 4 years, this young man became the youngest Royal Crown Diamond in Young Living. And I watched that ascension. I watched that growth. And I started working with a lot of his team, platinums and golds and diamonds and crown diamonds. And I'd never actually seen as much upward mobility in a network marketing company in a short period of time without any kind of hype or cheesy culture, but actual real substantial products. And a company that had been around for 20, 25 years, never seen that kind of growth. In, just a brand new distributor being able to tell their story and, a year or two later, they're making $5,000 or $10,000 a month. It was crazy. So I started digging into Adam Green's back office, and because I'm a numbers person, I like to paint by the numbers. I like to strategy by the numbers. I don't believe me. I don't believe other people's opinion. I want to see the data. What does the data say? And so in Adam's back office, they're looking at all kinds of data, but one piece of data stuck out, and that was what I would call retention. What he called was, well, that's the percentage of people that have ever joined my team that are on $100 or more auto ship loyalty rewards. Now, when I saw that number and Adam said, well, that's the percentage of people that have ever joined my team that are on auto ship, my initial response was, that's not true. That can't be. I've been doing this a long time. In my company, it was about 10%. In Adam's team, it was, I think, 42 or 46%. I'd never seen anything like it. So we started digging into, okay, well, what is the average in Young Living? And it was almost 40%. And so you might think that, well, if you're building in a company where your retention is 10% versus a company that you're building it's 40%, that in the 40% company, well, you might build something 4 times bigger or earn 4 times as much money. Au contraire. No, I actually ran a very creative financial model, an extrapolation of the data projected out over 7 years. And the organization that was retaining 40% versus 10% was 17 times bigger. 17 times bigger. So Kimmy and I got together and we started looking at, okay, here's where our teams, our companies are going to be 7 years from now versus where our teams could be if they were in Young Living. And we also wanted to move to Hawaii, and you can't really do that if you own 2 network marketing companies. And anyway, so we sold and we joined Young Living. And so that's context, right? My opinion might have value to you if you understand where it comes from. So back to why Young Living, why you, and why now. Why Young Living? Out of all the companies, globally, there's about 3,000 right now that are doing business based somewhere in the world. There's about 700 that are based in the United States. But what you want to understand about Young Living's uniqueness as a company is, since Young Living started 1984, over 30 years ago, there has been at least 500,000 network marketing companies launch. Most of them don't make it out of the gate. They don't make it more than 6 months. Most of them don't make it more than 6 years. The number that get to 10 years is pretty small. So you never hear about these companies. They start and stop like popcorn. But 500,000 at least. Today there's only 3,000. So it's not a 1 out of 10 thing. It's not a 1 out of 20 thing. It's less than 1% of every network marketing company that's ever started makes it anywhere. And so the fact that there's only 700 based in the United States makes Young Living, which it's a top 10 company globally based on its size, it makes it almost a 1 in a million opportunity. What Gary and Mary have done is nothing short of a miracle, but it wasn't by accident, right? It was strategic. It was intentional. And so what makes it so? Why Young Living? Well, the first thing is the products. Now, I know you know that. I don't need to spend a lot of time on it. But if you go back to my story, like what got my attention about Young Living, it was the products, but perhaps in a different way than you see the products. Perhaps you see the products as, well, they do this and they do that, and I love the products so much. I love the products too, but I look at the data. And what the data says is a very large percentage of people that try this stuff stay on it for years. Then what I do with that is, oh my gosh, if that's true, we can build a $10 billion company because we don't have to recruit as many people as other companies might recruit because our people stick, right? So the products, yes, they are phenomenal. They do miraculous, amazing things. I have experienced that. Kimmy has experienced that. But where the rubber meets the road is if 100 people get on these products, how many are still on them 5 or 10 or 20 years later? And that is an unprecedented percentage in our profession. There isn't any other company that I know of that has this level of retention. There's a couple that are close, but still, that's like rarefied air. Everybody else is 2, 3, 4, 5%. You think about the companies that are $5 or $10 billion a year that you know of, the standard fare companies, their retention is less than 5%. They got to recruit 20 people on AutoShip to get people to stick. So we have a huge advantage because of these products, and we have a huge advantage because they move people to naturally tell their story. Hey, I tried it. Here's what it did for me. Maybe it'll do the same for you. So number one reason why Young Living? Products. The most amazing products in our profession. The second reason is ownership. Now, what is it about ownership that makes such a difference? Well, there's two things. One, there's only one owner, and that is huge. That is so huge. If there were two different owners, I'd be scared. Why? Because partnerships never last in business. I mean, it's so rare. Amway's an exception. Rich DeVos, Jay Van Andel, their partnership is still alive today, 60 years later, but they are such an exception. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of companies blew up. Why? Because the partners, they thought, oh, this is a good idea. We like each other. Let's do business together. But 5 years later, maybe because the company's super successful, or maybe because it's really struggling, the partnership falls apart. That's if just there's two. If there's 5, it's 5 times worse. If it's public and there's 500 or 5,000, it's 50,000 times worse. If it's owned by private equity, it's the kiss of death. Private equity is only interested in the bottom line, and the bottom line has to happen fast. And if it doesn't, we're selling this thing or we're stripping it of whatever costs us money, and we're going to convert it to just an affiliate model. It's happening every day in our profession. So the fact that we have one owner that we can look at and we can decide, do we trust Mary and Gary? Do we love them? Are our values aligned? Of course, if they're not, go find some company that's owned by somebody that you're aligned with. But if you're aligned with Mary Young, then you only have to look at Mary Young. not 5 other people or 5,000 other people. And so that's a priceless advantage that the buck stops with Mary. And then the second reason about ownership is Mary is not an investor. She's not somebody that bought Young Living. She's not somebody that watched network marketing companies go crazy and decided, oh, I'm just going to invest my money and create a network marketing company. No, she is a network marketer. It's in her DNA. She was a very successful Sunrider sales leader before she met Gary. Before she told Gary, hey, if you want to get these oils in every home in the world, you got to use network marketing because it's going to happen based on people telling stories, not based on advertising or e-commerce or any of that. It's just storytelling all around the world. It's network marketing. And you got to have a comp plan that inspires people to make a lot of money, which then inspires them to work really hard and build empires. So we have the best scenario possible. We don't have private equity. We're not public, where the board of directors is legally required to make decisions in the best interest of the shareholder, not the customer or the sales leader. And our owner is like a network marketer in her DNA. And then what about the future? Right? So Mary's in her 70s, and she's not going to live another 100 years and another 50 years. What about the future? Well, that's already baked in. Gary and Mary baked it in with Joseph and Jacob. And if you watch Joseph and Jacob and listen to them, they're Gary and Mary 2.0. Joseph's kind of like Mary and Jacob's kind of like Gary. And they love network marketing. They love all of us. They love the model. They love the products. And they're 2.0. They're the next 70 years of us being able to build, perhaps not for us, but for our children. Why Young Living? Ownership, hands down. We've got it in spades, and end of story, right? Third reason why Young Living, upside. Very simple math. Every huge network marketing company, multi-billion-dollar network marketing company that's been around a long time, 80% of their sales are outside North America. They've grown into those markets where the population, the culture in those markets has a grand appreciation for products that come from America and an even grander appreciation for the opportunity to build an American kind of income, that free enterprise capitalism kind of income, but yet you don't need $1 million and you don't need to move to America, so you can live in Poland and build an empire all over the world. People outside of North America have a grand appreciation for that kind of opportunity, and they eat it up. Now, people in North America tend to take success and opportunity for granted. They're not quite as hungry. So if you look at the current state of Young Living, 80% of our sales are still North America. All of our upside is in front of us, and yet we're 30 years old. So it's not like, a lot of promises of what Young Living's going to do. It's already done it. Young Living has proven that they are who they are. They do what they say they're going to do. Are we perfect? No. Have we made mistakes? Oh, yes, epic ones, and probably will continue to be. But all of our upside is in front of us, and we have this massive track record behind us. Fourth reason why Young Living, which is sort of a culmination of all of this, is the legacy income option. And most of you know, if you follow me at all, that I'm all about the legacy income option. You can make $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 a month doing all kinds of stuff. And that's all great, right? For immediate income, for providing for your family and all that. But as soon as you stop working, maybe because you choose to, you get burned out, or you get hurt, or you get sick, your income stops. It's all linear income. In network marketing, you build through that exponential growth of the customer community. So if I get 10 customers, and they each get only 2 or 3 customers, and they each get 2 or 3 customers, and then somebody else gets 10 customers, and somebody else gets 100 customers, somebody else gets 2 or 3, somebody else gets 1,000. All of those generations of customers, that community, those are like little light bulbs of income that go to me, that go to you. And the more of those you have, the less you are reliant to you personally, what you do, and the less you are reliant to what any individual does. So if you have 1,000 customers buying these products every month, it doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter what 3 of them do, because you got your income spread out over so many people. And then when you light some of those customers up, with the opportunity for themselves to build a legacy income. Every time we inspire somebody who loves these products to build a legacy income, we turbocharge, we supercharge the exponential growth of what comes from them, because they're thinking, maybe if you apply it to the comp plan, they're thinking, I'm going to get to silver, I'm going to get to gold, I'm going to get to platinum, I'm going to get to diamond. And with that vision and motivation comes massive more growth on our team, in our customer community. And that happens indefinitely. That's going to happen 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. Somebody's going to get on fire somewhere in the world about building their own team, their own customer community. And it might be sixth generation to us, but boom, a whole new community flourishes. It's all on our team, right? So you add that to the fact that people get on these products and they stay on these products forever. Oh my gosh, build it once, get paid forever. How valuable is that? Well, it's a good formula for it. Take your monthly income and multiply it by 200. The rule of 200. So if you're making $2,000 a month and it's stable income from your customers, multiply it times 200, $400,000. That's how much liquid capital you'd have to have invested to make 200 grand a month. Right? And where are you going to get $400,000 or $4 million? It's save and invest for your whole life to create that. Or you can create an exponential growth customer community in 2 or 3 or 4 years with no money invested. There's nothing like it on the planet, never has been. That's why Einstein called compounding the eighth wonder of the world. It's how the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. But in network marketing, it's how you can live anywhere in the world. And as long as you got a sell signal, you can build an empire, right? And last, why Young Living? Purpose over profit. And it's just part of the expression of Gary's vision and Mary's vision and the family. And yes, the business needs to make a profit and the business needs to make prudent financial decisions. And I trust that they always will. We may not always like them, right? Because we want more for less. But we want the best products ever, and we want them to be the cheapest, and we want 100% commissions, and we don't want to have to qualify. But the business needs to make prudent decisions for the business, and they will always do that. But if you just look at the Young family, what are they doing here? This isn't about how much money they can make. They're already billionaires, multi-billionaires. So this is about getting these products in every home, right? This is about detoxing the body and the home of every potential home in the world. Will we ever get there? No, we won't. Which is exciting because we'll always have something to strive for. So if you look at the decisions that are made by Mary Young and this company, you can see every day where they put that mission, that purpose of keep the products, the best possible products we can. And let's get these products in people's homes and let's change lives. And that's more important than how much money we make overall, right? So those 5 reasons why Young Living. And to wrap it up, why you? Well, because you can. Hardly anybody does, but everybody can, that's kind of crazy, right? Hardly anybody does. Why is that? Well, they don't maintain the mindset that, they ask 10 people and 10 people say no. And so they decide, well, I can't do this. This doesn't work. And they quit. Right? Instead of asking the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, it's like flipping over the cards, right? There's 4 aces in every deck. That's 52 cards. There are 4 people out of 52 out there that will at least look. But if you don't ask 52, you don't find the 4, you don't know where they are. There might be the 7th person you ask. There might be the 17th person you ask. And yet the mindset that almost every networker has is, well, everybody I talk to should say yes. And if they don't, this isn't going to work and there's something wrong. Where they should actually have the attitude, hardly anybody's going to say yes. And everybody who says no, that's just perfect. That's the way it works. I'm sorting, not selling, right? Anybody can do this. Hardly anybody does, which is an extraordinary opportunity because you can do it, right? Why else? Why you? Well, I kind of hammered on it before, but legacy, income, wealth building, there's just nothing like it on the planet, right? You can save and invest your whole life. Save $500 or $1,000 a month if you possibly can. Your entire life, you'll end up with $1 million or $2 million invested somewhere, and you'll make, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month, but you won't make it till you're 60 or 70 years old. And you're going to skimp and have to be smart about how you invest for 25 or 30 years. Or you can just invest 15 minutes a day. And that's all it takes today to build momentum in Young Living. 15 minutes a day. All you have to do every day is ask 4 people to take a look. That's a formula. It's all data driven. 4 people a day. Just ask them to take a look. Don't sell them. Don't overcome their objections. Don't try to recruit them. Don't get all twisted up when they say no or don't even respond to you. Just work the numbers. Ask 4 people a day. It actually takes less than 3 minutes. I've proven it over and over and over again. Just ask them to take a look. That's all you got to do. If you do that for 3 or 4 months, you'll be in massive overwhelm momentum, and the rest is easy, right? This business is easy when people are joining you and they're more excited than you are, right? So that's all you got to get to. The hardest part is just getting to momentum. How do you get there? 4 asks a day for 90 days. Legacy income wealth building. Nothing like it on the planet. Why else? Why you? Well, the world continues to get less stable. Environmentally, economically, geopolitically, less stable. Can you see it, right? It's a little scary out there. And I don't know where you live, but I don't know how much money you make, but the more money you have, the more wealth you have, I'm not talking about billions. I'm just talking about enough so that you are not like a ping pong ball in the wind every time some country or some politician or some law or some whatever starts knocking things around. The better fortress you have around your family, the more secure you're going to be, the more safe you're going to be. And things are not going to get more stable and more safe in the decades to come. They're going to get more chaotic. So wealth is an important defense against that. And lastly, why you? Because you and your family deserve it. If you don't think you deserve it, does your family deserve it? Do your kids deserve it? How do you want to raise your kids financially? Couldn't you imagine if when you were 20 or 21 or 22 years old, if you had an annuity of $1,000 or $2,000 a month coming in from a totally separate source, how your life would be different, how your decisions would be different? Oh my gosh, all the mistakes that we made because of financial pressures might have been different. I'm not suggesting if you gave me when I was 20 years old, $2,000 a month, I'd have probably screwed it up, right? But better to have it and screw it up than never have it, perhaps. I'm not talking about giving your kids, wealth that they didn't earn. I'm just talking about what if you had a fallback position, right? What if you didn't have to take that job? What if you didn't have to move here? What if you didn't have to do that because you had a fortress behind you? Your family deserves that. Your kids deserve that. You can change the legacy of your whole family in 4 or 5 years in Young Living. And why now? Well, you've all heard, when's the best time to plant a tree? If you didn't plant it 5 years ago, the best time to plant it is not 5 years from now. It's not even 5 weeks from now. It's now, right? So procrastination is a nasty mindset. Do it now. Tomorrow never comes, right? You're going to wait for tomorrow? Then tomorrow never comes. But perhaps the most important reason why now is the next 10 years in Young Living, we have some work to do, obviously. We have some IT work to do. We have some communication work to do. We got some focus work to do. We definitely, as a company, need to embrace our network marketing model more fully and balance our product with network marketing. We got some work to do around that, but all of that is coming. And the next 10 years, I see as very significant growth. And the upside for Young Living, $10 billion a year or more, that will be the largest network marketing company on the planet. And so when do you want to get on that train? Do you want to wait 6 months or 6 weeks or 6 years? Or when would be the best time to start? And if you think about it, maybe do the math about it, we tend to think, well, if I wait until next month, till after my daughter gets married or after the kids get out of college or high school or the weather changes or vacations are over, right, for whatever reason we decide to wait, we think that the only thing we're losing if we wait a month is this month's worth of income, and we don't have any income, so there's nothing to lose by waiting. But au contraire, when we wait a month, our career is permanently pushed out a month. So if you look at your income history, let's say you're going to do this for the next 30 years. I don't know, but let's say you do. You wait a month, you actually lose The highest month's income you're ever going to earn. So when people tell me I'm going to wait till next month, I say, fine, no problem. We'll be here. I'm just curious, once you do get started, based on the comp plan, here's the income disclosure statement, how much do you think ultimately you could earn a month in Young Living? I mean, here's what other people have done. I don't know what you think you'll do, but you tell me. So, you give you all kinds of numbers. Maybe it's $1,000, maybe it's $10,000, maybe it's $100,000, right? Great, whatever it is. That's the highest month income you think you'll ever earn in the next 30 or 40 years. Yeah, let's say maybe $5,000 a month. Okay, great. So if waiting a month was going to cost you $5,000, if I could prove to you that it was going to cost you $5,000, would you want to see that? They always say, well, yeah, how would that be? And then I just show them, okay, you're going to start in April instead of March. Well, your highest month, let's say, is 7 years, 7 months from now. Your highest month now will be 7 years, 8 months from now. You never get back that 7 year, 7 month high mark. You lose that month forever. You never get it back. You can live to be 200 years old, build Young Living for the next 200 years. You never get that year back. And if the highest month income is $5,000, that's what it costs you to wait a month. So you sure you want to wait a month and cost yourself $5,000? Or what if I could show you how to work it into whatever you got to deal with for the next 30 days so we don't lose that highest month? Does that make sense? Why now? Because it costs you a fortune to wait. Hey, let's do this. We got the best opportunity on the planet. We got the next $10 billion company waiting for you and I to get our mojo and our mindset going right, get into momentum, do the work, enjoy the freedom. I'll see you on the other side.